Hello and welcome to this JEMIE online talk, which is based on the latest special issue published in the Journal on Ethnopolitics and Minority Issues in Europe. My name is Andreea Custocea and I'm editor of this journal, and I'm very happy to host this session. Before starting, I would like to inform everyone that we will be recording this session. Before introducing the moderator of this online talk, I would like to say a few words about the Journal on Ethnopolitics and Minority Issues in Europe, JEMIE in short. JEMIE is a fully online, fully open access academic journal issued by the European Center for Minority Issues in Flensburg, Germany. We are indexed in the Web of Science, Scopus, the Directory of Open Access Journals, and other major indexing databases. The journal publishes academic articles on minority issues from a variety of perspectives, including ethnopolitics, democratization, conflict, diversity management, minority and human rights, and so on. The webinar that we are presenting today is entitled Teaching and Learning Resources for Minority Languages, and is based on the homonymous special issue published in JEMIE last month, guest edited by Maarit Jaakkola from the University of Gothenburg and Boglárka Straszer from Dalarna University in Sweden. Maarit Jaakkola is with us today and will be moderating this webinar. She holds a PhD in social sciences in journalism and works as co-director at the Center for Nordic Media Research Nordicom at the University of Gothenburg. She's also an associate professor at the Department of Journalism, Media and Communication at the University of Gothenburg and an adjunct professor at the Faculty of Information Technology and Communication Sciences at Tampere University in Finland. So, Maarit, many thanks for guest editing the special issue and for moderating this webinar today. You have the floor.
Thank you very much, Andrea. We are happy to have 4 presenters today, all contributors to our very fresh special issue. So a warm welcome to all of you. Let me briefly introduce the central ideas behind this special issue before we go to the presentations. So, teaching and learning resources for minority languages in Europe was the topic of our special issue, and the issue includes 6 research articles, 2 book reviews and an introduction. Together they cover 11 European minority languages. Some of them are more widely recognized as national minority languages, such as Basque, Catalan and Meänkieli, and others less so, like Tatar and Ladino. This special issue grew out of a research initiation project that took place in 2024 called The Production of Learning Resources of, for and by the national minorities, or Lär Natt Min for short. The project was funded by the Riksbankens Jubileumsfond and consisted of 3 workshops that were held in 3 cities in Sweden. And these workshops gathered together researchers, educators and policymakers to discuss production perspectives, which was something that we observed to be not very well conceptualized. It's also something that is often less visible in the more pedagogically oriented discussions. After some discussions where we compared the vocabulary in different languages in different countries, we ended up using the term teaching and learning resources, or TLR, which is an umbrella concept to describe the wide variety of materials used for learning and pedagogies. There is an emerging area within educational sciences called materials development, which is a very good foundation for these studies. But that research mostly deals with English, either as a second language or English for specific purposes or foreign language learning. And when it comes to minority languages or minoritized languages, this perspective is far less explored. Often we use the terms pedagogical materials, curriculum or classroom materials, or didacticized or authentic texts, semantic learning materials, or even educational media to talk about these diverse materials. Each of these terms emphasizes slightly different things, but one key aspect is the direction of communication. Is it interaction guided by the teacher or by the learner, or through peer learning? Sometimes the roles of the teacher and the learner are mixed or blurred, and the most often we maybe think of textbooks. But in the project and also in the special issue, we quite well see that in fact almost anything can become a teaching or a learning or teaching and learning resource. For example, one teacher told us in the workshops how they used fidget toys. Fidget toys, you may ask, what are they? It's that colorful handheld thing there, which is actually designed for stress relief because it's a sensory toy. She had just discovered it at home and took it into her classroom and used it to teach numbers and colors. So we saw that teachers are very creative in coming up with different didactic arrangements. But it's very important to understand the conditions for this kind of activities and material uses and also production. It's important to understand the sociological structures behind. What shapes the production, mediation and reception of materials, and how we can support this, especially for lesser taught languages that don't necessarily have any professional textbooks. For example, in Sweden, Finnish teachers often use textbooks from Finland, from their kin state, but those books are originally written for another group of learners in another society, like for migrants living in Finland, and they are not culturally adapted to the Swedish context. Meanwhile, the Swedish government is struggling to find a domestic textbook producer who could create such materials that are aligned with national curriculum goals of the national minority language. So it's not easy at all. And the study of these production structures is essentially interdisciplinary. It's spanning linguistics, education, pedagogy, and minority cultural studies. So what we have been doing in this special issue is kind of pioneering and exploratory work to conceptualize, identify, observe the uses and the existence, uses and production of these kinds of different materials. And we think that it's crucial to distinguish between didactics and materials. They are closely connected, but not the same. Rather than being a certain genre or being reduced to textual characteristics, TLRs are maybe any kinds of products, processes, or environments that can be harnessed for the interactional processes of teaching and learning. And we also want to state or suggest, at least with this special issue, that TLRs play a central role for the maintenance, revitalization and documentation of lesser spoken languages and minority and minoritized cultures. With this special issue, we have entered a journey that is expected to continue in future, and things that could be explored in future are the various open educational resources and also the manual work of teachers, which came very visible also in many articles. Here are some publications that have come out of the Lär Not Min project in addition to this special issue, but we expect more to come. Now we'll move on to our guest speakers, and you can always leave your questions in the chat box and we'll take them up at the end of the session. But our first case explores Minecraft, which is not a textbook, not a product, not even a process. It's an environment, the world's most popular gaming environment, created by the Swedish company Mojang. A fun fact, its founder, Swedish Marcus Persson, actually has a mother of Finnish origin, so Finns are one of the country's official national minorities, so there is a connection to that as well. The game has been translated into Northern Sámi language by Leemet Mahte Eirasaara, who is one of the speakers and student at the Sámi University College, University of Applied Sciences in Norway. And we'll also hear from Rauni Äärela-Vihriälä from Lapland University and Line Reichfeldt-Föreland from University of Agder, who will discuss how Minecraft can function as an indigenous teaching and learning resource. How can that happen? I imagine it needs some creativity since there are no reindeer in Minecraft. So please, Leemet Mahte, Rauni and Line, the screen is yours.
Kiitos Oulu ja puere päivi puohkaide. Thank you, Maarit, and it's nice to be here to share our thoughts about using Minecraft as a Sámi learning resource. So today we are presenting our article, Building Indigenous Futures with Minecraft, a Sámi Educational Perspective. We have written this article together with Leemet Mahte Eirasaara, a Sámi language Minecraft translator, teacher student and project worker from the Sámi University of Applied Sciences, Sámi Allaskuvla, and Line Reichfeldt-Föreland, a teacher educator and PhD researcher at the University of Agder. I myself have previously worked as a teacher educator at the Sámi University of Applied Sciences, and I'm currently working as a doctoral researcher at the University of Lapland in Finnish side of Sápmi. Our article is based on a joint development project carried out at the Sámi University of Applied Sciences and University of Agder. In our presentation today, Leemet Mahte will start by talking about the use of the Sámi language in Minecraft, and Line will then discuss teaching Sámi-related content through Minecraft in connection with the Norwegian curriculum reform, which requires that all children in Norway should learn about Sámi topics. She will also present this development project. And after that, I will present the use of Minecraft and its possibilities in indigenous educational and research contexts. Now, please welcome Leemet Mahte päässä ton hallat. Pian tunne kova hoitnasi lääkepuere.
Joo, puore päivi. Kiihtu puohkaita. Good day and thanks. So I grew up with games, and one game that specifically caught my attention when I was younger was Minecraft, because of the endless possibilities with exploring your creativity. You're in a learning environment where you can learn basically natural science, and like where you can collect wood, what you can make out of wood, where you can build, how the nature around you gets destroyed if you use it too much, and how to environmentally collect and use everything in the environment. So that is just a picture of what I saw in Minecraft when I was a child. So fast forward some years, I've always wanted to play the game in Sámi because I thought it would be fun to play it in my mother tongue. It would also connect me closer to this environment. But there was no option for that. Luckily, I had a friend of mine that wanted to learn Sámi language, who is Sámi himself. And he suggested that he had used Minecraft to learn one of Norway's official writing systems, which is the new Norwegian Nynorsk, through Minecraft. And I suggested use Minecraft, which he replied to me that, well, it's not in Sámi. And I was like, that is true. I can translate it for you. So I sat down and began to translate, which took me 8 months to be done with because I had school and other things to do at the same time. So it was completely in my own will, and I did not get any pay for that. So then we can go more into the future again when Line took contact with me about this project that Rauni presented. She wanted to collaborate with the Sámi community in making a teaching and learning resource for the Sámi community, but also for non-Sámi communities to learn about Sámi. And needed help with Sámi perspectives, and I was one of the helpers here. And this is quite important also in a lot of work that is connected to minorities, that it is a collaboration with the minority, I feel like. So during the project, we added resources into the game, which made it possible to see Sámi cultural materials or things that are normally connected to the Sámi culture. But for me, it was also important that the language was visible and that this resource, as Line wanted, was available for Sámi communities. So we have also made the world into Northern Sámi, and we are also working on getting it fully completed in Southern Sámi, which is an even smaller group than we the North Sámi. So here on the left side, you can see one example where you can actually meet my game character who speaks Sámi to you and just tells about that translation work that I did, because the Sámi Parliament of Norway also gave me a language award that is given out to people that contribute somehow to make the language better and more seen in society. And also on the right side, you can see some examples of these things that I translated. So that was very briefly about the translation and the Sámi in our resource.
And I want to underline the important part of the project that you have had, Lemmet Marte, because translating this game is not just the first words you see, but there are thousands of words and terminology that needs to be translated in order to play the game fully in North Sámi. So it's a huge job, and this project would not have been possible without your previous effort, Lemmet Marte. So I work in the mainstream teacher education, Norwegian teacher education, and we recently, as Rauni mentioned, had this curriculum reform. Sámi topics has been included before, but now it is more integrated. It is part of the overall descriptions in the curriculum, which all teachers need to include, and it's also mentioned in all subject plans except mathematics. But we have this problem then that many teachers do not know how to do this. So I had an idea using games. Could we create some kind of game where people could meet Sámi topics? But it was vital for a project like this to exist that it has to also be something that gives back to the Sámi communities, that it is playable, not just for Norwegian curriculum, but in Norway we have a Sámi curriculum that is also used. So it has to be available for both. I cannot just demand something for my use without giving something back. And of course, collaborating closely with the Sámi community to both know what to do, what to include, and how to do it. So then this idea was to create this game world, this game platform environment that has a lot of different topics that you can play in both Norwegian school and Sámi schools, playable in Norwegian and Sámi. And as Lemet Marte said, we now have North Sámi. It's partially playable in South Sámi. It's also playable in Norwegian and English. So we are adding languages, I hope. And then we created this to have to both to do something about the Sámi topics themselves, but then also to create teaching and learning resources for Sámi community, for communities to expand language domains. It's important to have resources that you can use in your own language. And we also feel that this game platform that so many children and youth are using, they should also meet something that is not just representative of the majority there, but also the Sámi, meeting Sámi culture in this game platform and environment that many young people and elder ones are using. So we have created this large game platform. It uses the Sámi Parliament on the Norwegian side as a starting point, but then you can be teleported to diverse locations that are important in Sámi communities. And we have now many thousand downloads of the game each year. So it has had a huge impact, I will say. And I want to just show you briefly 2 ways to show you how this project also can have a way forward, because now we have this game platform. It is being used. I see every year people using it. But these 2 pictures that you see here are from 2 master projects at my university. To the left, you see a project that's an art project where a student created in collaboration with the Sámi artist Anders Sunna. She recreated his artwork in Minecraft. And if you go to I think it's on the right side there, you can jump through the artwork. It works like a portal, and you will come through on the other side, and then the artwork is laid out as a landscape, so you can walk through it. As an example of how you can interact with artwork. And then to the right, you see another master project of that I was very lucky to follow closely. A student of mine used our Minecraft world as an example and inspiration, where the students read a book about Sámi topics and then recreated parts of the scenery in Minecraft to demonstrate how their understanding was. So this is 2 possibilities. The project on the left demanded a little bit more technical knowledge, and Lemet Marte was very helpful in that. And the one to the right didn't demand any other technical knowledge besides the things the students were able to do themselves in the classroom. So that is a little bit about how this gaming platform can be used to further both Sámi topics in mainstream and in indigenous communities. And now it's your turn, Rauni.
Thank you so much, Lemmähtä ja Line. At the end, in Sámi education, Minecraft offers many possibilities due to its sandbox nature, allowing the creation of materials that support culturally and linguistically grounded teaching. In addition, there are already many guides and resources in majority languages that are available also to the Sámi teachers that can draw on to develop their own context and versions suited to Sámi education. Minecraft encourages playfulness and collaboration, the values and methods used in Sámi pedagogies. And it can be integrated as part of broader thematic units that connect traditional Sámi topics with digital learning. For example, students might work outdoors or in traditional learning environments with Sámi teams and then continue exploring the same topics within the digital game world. Teacher students at the Sámi University of Applied Sciences have, for instance, designed such learning modules as part of their teaching practices. So one of the goals in this our joint development project was also when developing the game itself, also to give the knowledge or develop the digital teaching skills for the Sámi teacher students in Sámi in Sámi teacher education. So during these years that we had the joint project, the teacher students had several Minecraft tasks in their practices. And in Sámi Alaskoula, in Sámi University of Applied Sciences, let's use Sámi Alaskoula, it's more common for us. So teacher students in Sámi Alaskoula, they are coming from the 4 different countries based on the understanding of the whole Sámi perspective from the Sámi home district. We call it in Sámi Miehtä Sámi Aitnu, means that we see the whole Sámi as a whole area with our different languages. So during these project years, teacher students were in different, it was very diverse overview of the practice and practicum and the schools where they were having this very different kind of Minecraft projects. So we also had this wonderful opportunity to develop their skills as a teachers for use the Minecraft in Sámi education, and definitely based on the Sámi culture and languages. And if we look at this through research, Minecraft offers similar potential, particularly when exploring themes such as sustainability, justice, and indigenous knowledge. And in my current work in the Rebound project, which is funded by the Strategic Research Council within the Research Council of Finland, we examine the justice of the green transition from an intergenerational perspective in Northern Finland. As part of this, we have used Minecraft to visualize sustainability actions in Northern Finland. And here in the pictures you can see our youth summer employees working with the Minecraft. So because we have hired young people as summer workers to create Minecraft content based on both old and new map models. And last summer we had a wonderful opportunity to be a part at the EU Arctic Forum of Indigenous Peoples Dialogue and Arctic Youth Dialogue in Levi in Finland. And there we presented a Minecraft world that depicted sustainability and recycling opportunities in the Levi area, built upon a real map of Levi. And Sámi youth played in this world, those who were participating in the EU Arctic Forum, and it served as a starting point of discussions about the green transition. So, digital game platforms can act as meaningful tools for youth participation, and teaching the use of those platforms is particularly important in indigenous contexts. Approaching technology from the perspectives of indigenous languages, cultures, and ways of knowing. Yes, and let's go to the end of our presentation.
Yes, so we have done a lot, and not everything is in this one Sámi Parliament game, but we have a lot of resources. A lot of it is available in several languages, and if you are interested in looking at it, you can go to this website here and find everything. So you can, there is a button on the top right where it says English, so you would press that one and you can download everything in English. And if there's something that lacks translation, we are adding. Yeah, it's a project that the project is finished, but we are still doing things and trying to include more teaching and learning resources. So thank you.
Thank you very much for showing very concretely and with examples the versatility of this gaming environment. Although some researchers in the field of gaming studies suggest that this is not a traditional game, it's an environment for play and interaction, and that might be the benefit of it. We'll come to questions and answers at the end of this session. So we thank you, Lemet-Mahte, Rauni and Line, for a very inspiring presentation. And go on. The next language has no recognized role in society. It's much a more minor community of speakers, but it also has versatile teaching and learning resources. So our next speaker will talk about the Finnish Tatar community, and she's Sabira Ståhlberg, who is independent researcher and also a textbook author herself, with roots in the Finnish Tatar community. So welcome, Sabira. I'll leave the screen to you now.
Thank you. Can you please share the presentation? The Tatar minority in Finland comprises today less than 1,000 speakers. The minority was formed mainly between the 1860s and the 1920s. Misher Tatar traders from the multicultural Western Volga region first established themselves in the capital, St. Petersburg, and from there they began exploring also the markets in nearby Finland. Finland was an autonomous part of the Russian Empire until 1917. We can go to the next slide. By 1900, the men had brought also their families to Finland, and they needed to educate the children. The Tatars were literate and had a positive attitude towards learning, and as reformist Muslims, they also sent the girls to school. They knew several languages already when they came to Finland, and they became even more multilingual in Finland. Today, all Tatars in the world are multilingual because they live in minority situations everywhere, both in Russia and in the global diaspora. The Tatars used Arabic script for their Turkic language in Finland until the 1960s, and many elderly never stopped using it, although children and youth were now taught the Latin script from the 1960s. In Russia, the Tatars were forced to use the Cyrillic script, and they still are forced to use the Cyrillic script, but it has not been used in Finland. The Tatars in Finland share a language and cultural sphere with Kazan Tatars, but their Western Mishar language is strongly influenced by the neighboring Finno-Ugric and Slavic languages. Kazan Tatar is usually seen as the normative Volga-Tatar language. Here we need a footnote. There are several Tatar groups in addition to Volga Tatars. There are Crimean Tatars, Siberian Tatars, Kazim Tatars, and others. The Tatars in Finland also share networks and a common linguistic and cultural sphere with other Turkic speakers, not only Turks, but also, among others, Kazakh, Uzbek, Kyrgyz, Uyghur, and several groups in Siberia and the Caucasus and elsewhere in Central and North Asia, and also in Eastern Europe. Okay, you can go to the next slide. A few words about Tatar education. Before the 1920s, Tatar children did not go to Finnish or Swedish schools in Finland. They had their own school, which was taught by the imam. A kindergarten was also established around the same time in the 1910s. Attempts to formalize the school failed, and only in 1948 a public school could be established in Helsinki. This school had a Tatar and a Finnish teacher, and the pupils learned both languages besides all usual subjects in Finnish public schools. It had to close, however, in 1969 for a lack of students. The Tatar children and teenagers in Finland have learned language, culture, and religion in the Tatar kindergarten, now weekend school, and many courses taught by international guest teachers and local teachers. At summer and winter camps, also traditions and cooking are taught. There are religious congregations in Helsinki and Tampere, and earlier there were large communities in other towns as well, and also congregations. And there is a cultural and a sports association who arrange celebrations and all kinds of educational, cultural, and sports events and evenings. During these events, Tatars of all ages participate with presentations, performances, songs, recitation of poetry, of texts, and so on. There have also been theater groups, choirs, pop music and rock bands, and other groups performing regularly at meetings. The Tatars also support new parents with a baby box containing Tatar language CDs and DVDs, books, and games for young children. And we can go to the next slide. The Tatars are keen writers and publishers of all kinds of writings. There have been over 300 publications printed during the past century. Most of them deal with language, religion, culture, and heritage, food, history, and they come in all kinds of formats and genres, from drama and poetry to prose, memoirs. There have also been several magazines and bulletins which are very popular and are still read by all ages. In terms of teaching and learning materials, a special category are the photocopied informal materials, fairy tales and stories created for the kindergarten and the Tatar weekend school. In the past few years, also easy-to-read literature has been translated, and the world's first Tatar easy language has been created. The amount of online materials and various digital formats are growing, and there are, for example, also a web dictionary for Finland Tatar, which is today seen as a specific variation of Mishar. Okay, we can go to the next slide. All this has been achieved because Tatars have well-organized communities. They could be seen as a middleman minority. They're highly educated, possess their own financial resources, have solid multilingual and multicultural experiences. They came from a multilingual and multicultural minority situation to another minority situation, and they have a large international network. So if we look at the teaching and learning resources over the past century, the obvious and first thing we see is the influence of pedagogical developments in Finland and internationally, in the Tatar and Turkic worlds, international inspirations from other languages and cultures, and a great deal of adaptation, openness, and flexibility in creating materials for learners. The formal and printed works are mostly dealing with language, culture, and religion. Religion being an exclusive male sphere, as most of the writers are the imams. Guest authors and teachers have also adapted, for example, Turkish language readers to Tatar. But In fact, the local female teachers have produced the bulk of informal materials. They have taught at the kindergarten from the beginning, in the school and at camps, and prepared events for over a century. These women have little or no formal pedagogical training. Instead, they have learned while teaching, and they are very engaged. They have let their creativity flow into texts, exercises, drawings, games, songs, recitations of poetry, and so on. And their input far exceeds any other contribution to teaching and learning materials made by guest teachers or the male teachers. Today, the challenges before the Tatars are an increasing need to produce more web-based materials for multilingual learners. The group is also diminishing rapidly, not only because of mixed families and society, where Finnish and other languages are dominating, but also for demographic reasons. The political situation of the Tatars in Russia and globally also influence the Tatars in Finland and their possibilities to network and receive teaching and learning materials from other countries. And please give the last one. I would like to wrap up by showing you some teaching and learning materials Tatars have produced in Finland. From the top right, there is a certificate from the Tatar school in 1917, printed in Kazan. Under it are religious books. In the top middle are fairy tales and stories prepared by female teachers for the kindergarten and the school. And top left is a modern multilingual word learning book for children adapted from Kazan Tatar. And in the left corner are Latin script and Cyrillic script, easy to read books. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Savira. Fascinating how many different teaching and learning materials there are, despite the small size of the speech community. So thank you for describing this, the possibilities that are, or opportunities that are available for us. Now we can have some questions and answers. If any of you who are in the audience have any questions, comments, you can leave them to the Q&A box, and we will address them over there. If we start with Minecraft, because I see that there has come one long commentary on the opportunities of Minecraft. So if we first go to this virtual gaming environment, which is actually not quite novel and new, because if we go back in history of media and virtual learning environments, we also had the Habbo Hotel, which was at least in the Nordics. It was quite frequently used by young people, where you could create an avatar to discuss with others in a virtual room, and you had Second Life. Does any one of you remember Second Life, where universities also established their own lecturing halls to reach out to new audiences, and then it suddenly just disappeared. So now we are living kind of a new stage of development, and as I can understand from your presentation, the thing that's truly new is the playfulness and the construction idea, that you can concretely do something, you can create whole worlds, which I actually saw in my own son's activities, because suddenly he and his friend, when they were 8 years old, they were constructing a city called Japan, which was a combination of China and Japan, and they were reading about the Japanese culture and traditions and architecture, and also about the Chinese one, and they really constructed a whole village, or a whole city, even a whole country, you might say, where people could interact and live in Japan. So to use the creativity is a benefit. And we have Björn Renström who want to say that they have been using Minecraft in the small Swedish language or dialect, is the variant dialect, Älvdalska, since 5 years, and they have also identified many benefits with that. Älvdalska is spoken by 3,000 people in Älvdalen in Sweden, and it's recognized by, for example, European Council and UNESCO as a language, and Minecraft has helped them to make the language more popular among young people. And they have also then produced podcasts in Älvdalska, YouTube films for gospels in Älvdalska, translated several psalms for use for the church. Very much creativity around there. So Minecraft is being used for many minority languages, but I was thinking about the findability of these materials. You gave us the address where to go and to find your materials, but what is your idea about how to find these different materials that might be out there, but if you are not as an adult playing in Minecraft, how do you get to know if there are some materials, for example, in Älvdalska?
Yeah, that could be a true challenge, actually, because people create things. They often create them in different groups, for example. But I feel that Minecraft communities are a lot about sharing. Of course, then if people share where to find it, I think one important thing is, at least in Norway, many schools have access for free or through the office package. They have access to the education version of Minecraft, and they have gathered quite a few resources in their library. But otherwise, you do need to try to find things. But I will mention as an example, because when this project began, one of the reasons why we did this Minecraft project is because I saw a presentation about the Maori Minecraft world, and that is a world that you can find in the Minecraft library. So it's available. You can just search it if you are on the Minecraft platform, at least the education version. So there are things to find. And then it's about how good you are at Googling and finding things in groups. Wouldn't you agree, Lemet Mahte and Rauni?
Yes, exactly as you say. The education game that is accessible through Microsoft 365 offers a library that is public for each user. However, and unfortunately, we have not been we might not even have taken yet the possibility to put it there. So for now, you need to go through the link and by word of mouth, or if you read an article about the game or something. Yeah.
That is for sure a way forward to gather such material in one place.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We also saw in our project that the special issue was based on that, to be able to circulate these products of very small scale production, teachers should maybe, or educators also in non-formal and informal settings, those who create the teaching and learning resources should also cherish the culture of openness and sharing, because many educators are doing good things, good materials, but how to get people find them, how to make them really circulate among the relevant groups, that's a real challenge. I would like to ask Sabira as well, how are these teaching and learning resources in Tatar language, how are they found, as I guess that many of those are only available in print.
So if you are looking at the printed materials, they are usually sent out to members of the congregations and community. But those which are online, they are partly only available for members and partly they are open. So for instance, the easy to read books, they are free and they are open for everyone. The journals, for instance, which are published, they are usually only for community members. So today, the challenge is also that many people are not anymore members of the congregation. So until the beginning of the 2000s, most Tatars were members of the congregation. But now, because of they feel that Islam has been hijacked by more recent migrants, so many people distance themselves from Islam because they don't feel that this is something that they want to be part of.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I think it's more important now to have like freely available materials for everyone.
Exactly. Reaching out to the members of the community might not be a problem then, but how to reach majority, I think there we need to try to integrate all the materials available into majority structures. And I guess you have many or good conditions for that in Norway, because you have it in the curriculum now that everyone needs to learn about these issues. Have you also been thinking of producing kind of teachers' materials to guide the uses of the Sámi Minecraft for those who are not members of the Sámi community?
We have a lot. So on the web page that we had in the presentation, we have, for all content that is in the game world, we have teaching resources and also suggestions on how to use it. So of course you can do what you want with it, but at least there is a suggestion on how to do it. So that is part of the project as well, not just creating digital resources, but also creating suggestions, how to small videos showing what the content is and how it can be used. So an important part of the project is all resources following.
Yes, and I can continue from that. Overall, in Sámi teaching materials, there is of course, amount of the materials has raised all over the Sápmi in Norway, Sweden, and Finland. So, like for example, in Finnish side, Sámi Parliament has the whole overview of the Sámi teaching materials that can be shared to schools. So that situation has went better and better all the time. But also, like for example, when we as a teacher educators, we have the courses for the minority teacher students also about the Sámi cultures and languages. And like our course in University of Lapland about the Sámi culture in school, the students will they have a developed project where they use the different kind of materials to teach about the Sámi topics. And that's very timely topic in the educational field right now, to raise the knowledge for the teachers and all over about the Sámi education, but other minority cultures and languages also. Thank you.
Yeah, it's good to know that the situation is getting better, and also that majority actors are supporting you to both produce and circulate, and also to collect these materials for better findability. But we can also see in Line's commentary about how it's natural to produce teachers' materials, so that it's often a double task to do the materials for the learners, but also then the commenting and accompanying materials for teachers. when talking about the production of teaching and learning materials, Sabira, you have been producing easy language Tatar materials by yourself. Can you say something about that?
Yes, so I have been working with easy language in Finland Swedish. This was the original, the books were originally written in Swedish, Finland Swedish. And we started by doing new easy languages. We did it in Bulgarian, we did it in Serbian, and I met Fazila Nasreddin, who is a translator. She's also one of the teachers, previous teachers of the Tatar school. And we started in 2018 working on translations of books and also preparing various materials and preparing a new Tatar language for these books, because creating an easy language. So easy language is a simpler form of standard language, the language which is used in everyday, schools, talking, and so on. But making an easy language means that we have to simplify the language and we have to find words and ways of expression which are easy to understand. So usually shorter words, easier words, and also short sentences. So we were facing the challenge of Tatar being spoken in various ways. There are not only the Mishar Tatar, but there are diversity in this, and we wanted also to make it in Cyrillic script so that Tatars in Russia could use the literature. So what we did was we created like an international easy language using the Finnish Tatar words and also explaining them in various ways. So for example, when we were repeating some word, we could use another word from Kazan Tatar, or a word which is more like internationally understood or understandable.
So this relates to a question that was left to the chat box by Victoria Aigul, who wanted to know more about your statement that all Tatars are multilingual. You have already answered to her in written form, but Victoria wants to highlight that, for example, in Ukraine, young people, particularly those around 35, 40 years old, speak only Russian and have little or practically no knowledge of Tatar. So that may also be the case, but is there a need for multilingual teaching and learning materials?
Absolutely. So I answered in the chat already that depends on how we look at multilingualism. So if we look only at native tongues, so what the people have learned as children and at home, many people are nowadays monolingual because of nationalist politics and because of oppression of Tatar language. But if we look at what people have learned, because most people have learned also some other languages, and if we look at a broader definition of multilingualism, we see that people are multilingual. So if we count also the languages that people have learned later in life, not only at home, then yes, most people in this world are multilingual. So yes, we need multilingual materials. But it's very difficult, of course, to create multilingual materials because every person is multilingual in their own way. So every individual has a personal multilingualism. So what we are trying to do is to create materials which have, let's say, the most languages that we know that people are using. So in Finland, we are creating, so the iBagar website, which is on my website, we are creating in Tatar, Finnish, and English, so that we know that so actually all Tatars in Finland know English also. And we have also several readers all over the world who all know English and they can use it. So, but we also try to do it in Finnish so that the Tatars, the children who go to a Finnish school, that they can also understand because we are making like word lists, and we are at the moment working also on various expressions and proverbs and so on. So what we try to do is to give it to all ages. So both those who haven't learned English yet and those who already know English.
You are doing a really great job, you all, today's presenters, both as practitioners and producers of teaching and learning materials, but also as researchers. So we are very happy to have heard about your experiences today, and happy about you being part of the special issue. Please take a look at our special issue, which is completely open access online, and please do circulate the link in your networks. We want to say big thanks to European Centre for Minority Issues for hosting this online talk. Thank you, Andrea, and all your colleagues, and thank you for the fantastic collaboration on the special issue. We are looking forward to further research on this topic. Thank you.